welcome to our lesson for today. So let's start this lesson by remembering what we learned last time. So remember, last time we talked about how Solomon is now king and he's asked God to help him by giving him wisdom, because that's the only thing he asked for. And on top of giving him wisdom, God also gave him all these other things. He was rich, he was respected, and if he obeyed God's laws, he was going to live a long life. So now we're gonna see what happens next.
Yes, so God really answered Solomon's prayer, and God gave Solomon a lot of wisdom. He gave him so much wisdom that Solomon was able to write songs,
write sayings,
poems.
He knew about plants and animals.
He knew
and
so much about
birds
plants,
and
animals,
fish,
birds,
and all of these things. And God also gave him the skill to be able to go through the affairs of the court.
So in the court, God gave him wisdom with how to deal with the matters in the court, and God even gave him skills and a lot of things that came with the wisdom that God gave him.
And people, his subjects now, people in Israel would come and see Solomon so that he can preside over their cases and he can find justice for them. So they would come, tell him their cases, and Solomon would have to make a decision that is fair for both sides.
Yes, and for that reason, Solomon was known like far and wide. Everyone knew about Solomon because of the wisdom that he had.
So one day, two women came to Solomon and they came before the king, and as they were entering, they were carrying a baby, and one woman tried to snatch the baby away from the other woman, and then the baby started crying. So one of the servants took the baby and tried to stop the baby from crying, while the women walked in to tell Solomon about their case.
Yes, and the women went on and on about the what had happened, and one of the women started by telling Solomon that we both had babies not so long ago, but my baby came 2 days earlier than hers. And then when we were sleeping at night, we lived together, so when we were sleeping at night, she slept on her baby and her baby died, and then she woke up before me and she came and took my baby and she put the dead baby beside me, so that when I wake up I would think that my baby was dead. But really, when I looked at the child, that was not my baby. She had taken my baby. And then the other woman
shouted and shouted, "No, that's my baby. The live baby is mine, and the dead baby is yours. You're the one who has the dead baby." So they argued, and then Solomon said, "So both of you claim that the live baby is your baby?" And then they both said yes. And then Solomon told the servant, "Go get a sword." So the servant came back with a sword. Solomon said, "Since both of you claim that this baby is your baby, then cut the baby exactly down the middle, cut the baby in half, and then give each of them a piece,
so that you'll all go with a piece of the baby."
As soon as they said this, the real mother of the baby cried and said, "No, don't kill my baby, don't kill my baby." So she said, "Don't kill my baby. I would rather you give her to this other woman rather than my baby to die."
But the other woman said, yes, go ahead.
That's very fair.
The baby in half. That is very fair.
Do as the king has said. That is very fair. Then Solomon said, "Wait, stop, don't kill the child.
Don't hurt the child.
Don't hurt the child. I only wanted to find out who the real mother of this baby is. The real mother of this baby is the one that was willing to spare the child's life." And then Solomon said, "Give the baby to the real mother."
Solomon gave the baby to the real mother, and the real mother was very happy that finally justice had been served.
Yes, and this case, how Solomon had handled this case, it was had all over the kingdom.
Everyone heard about
how Solomon has this great wisdom and how he came up with this plan to find out who the true mother was and to find a just way to end the case.
Oh yes.
So kids, from this we learn that when we're in a difficult situation, God is always there to help us and to give us wisdom in what we need to do.
Yes.
Solomon was in a very difficult situation trying to discover who the true mother of this baby was.
Yes.
But God gave him a way to find this out. And in the same way, God will help us when we're in difficult situations, and he will help us out of those difficult situations, and he will help us find a solution.
Yes. So now we're going to stand up and sing our song. So let's all stand up.
Okay, so we've just had the story about how Solomon judged the case of the two women fighting over one baby. So now we're going to sing this case and learn about it even more. So everyone stand up and help us sing about this case that Solomon judged.
Yeah. Two angry women came before the king. Both were unhappy, both were arguing. Both had had babies, but one of them had died. So who was the mother of the living child? One said, this baby is definitely mine, but she lay upon her sometime in the night. She stole my baby and took her to her bed, and laid her beside me. I woke to find him dead. Solomon had had enough. He called out for a sword, for he had a plan to decide who was the fraud. He gave a command to cut the child in two. Give half to each woman, wouldn't that be good? Stop, don't kill him, let her have the child, said one, but the other was happy to comply. And so King Solomon had made it very clear which one was the mother and which one was the lie.
To do our craft. Now, we've just talked about how because Solomon asked God for wisdom, he was very wise and he was able to determine who the real mother of the baby was, and he was able to give a just and a fair judgment onto both of these women, and everyone knew about this. So now we're going to make a craft, and in this craft we're going to have a whole pot of gold, but on top of this pot of gold we're going to write that wisdom is worth more than gold, because when God gave Solomon wisdom, this meant that now he was able to make the right decision for everyone, and it was the right and it was the fair decision. So that is what we're going to write. So here we have a pot. So we took a manila paper and we just drew the shape of a pot and then we cut it out. So this is our pot, and then we have coins that we made from yellow manila paper. And we're going to color these coins yellow so that they can just shine a little bit more. And then we're going to stick them on top of our pot. So that now we can see, now we have a pot and it's full of gold. So I want you to take your coins, put everything else to the side, take your coins and just take your yellow color and color them, just so that they can shine a bit more. Okay, once you have all of your coins colored, now we get to start sticking things. So take your pot of gold, and for this one I think we're going to staple it down. Once you have your pot of gold stapled in the center of your paper, take your glue stick. Now we're going to use the glue stick so that we can stick all of our coins and they can be on top of the pot of gold so it looks like they're overflowing. So remember, don't put too much glue so it can dry quickly, but make sure you stick all of the coins. So there we go, we have a pot overflowing with gold coins. But we need to now write what all of this means to us. So I need you to take your pen, and on the pot of gold you write wisdom, is better than gold. And then at the top of your paper, we're going to write, Solomon makes a wise decision. And this story, we find it in 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 16 to 28. 16 to 28. So Solomon makes a wise decision. And wisdom is better than a pot of gold. So anytime you see this, anytime you look at this paper of yours or this picture that you've made, you'll remember that Solomon, when he was faced with this judgment, he made a wise decision because he asked God for wisdom, and God gave it to him, and he was able to get himself out of this difficult situation.
Yes, so hope you're able to put your coins on your pot. And hope your coins look like real gold. Okay? So that's our craft today. That's our lesson today. Until next time.
Bye.